and welcome to the news on Sansad TV. I'm Isha Shah. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll take a look at all the important developments of the day, from the ASEAN summit in Cambodia to the COP27 in Egypt. But first, let's get started with the headlines. Prime Minister Modi launches new airport terminal in Bengaluru, and first Vande Bharat train for South India underscores role of connectivity in the development of the nation. Himachal Pradesh to vote for assembly elections from 8 a.m. tomorrow amid tight security. Campaigning gains momentum in Gujarat. Jharkhand Assembly passes two important bills, makes 1932 as the cut-off year to define domicile residence, raises job reservation to 77%. All Rajiv Gandhi murder case convicts including Nalini Sriharan released. Congress protests against the decision. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar to attend the ASEAN-India Summit tomorrow, addresses Indian community in Phnom Penh, praises India-Cambodia's centuries-old ties rooted in civilization, tradition and culture. The year 2022 has been declared as ASEAN-India Friendship Year, commemorating 30 years of partnership. A series of events have been planned to celebrate the occasion throughout the year. Delhi University will declare the third round of seat allocation for undergraduate admissions on Sunday. During this round, admissions for all supernumerary quotas along with regular admissions will be done. Curbs under Stage 3 of the Graded Response Action Plan to continue in Delhi NCR as air pollution is showing an upward trend. Centre's Air Quality Panel said Delhi's 24-hour average AQI stood at 346 this evening. Indian Air Force's Western Command reviewed its overall security scenario along the LAC in eastern Ladakh during a two-day conclave. Chief of Air Staff directed all commanders to ensure operational readiness at all times. The Supreme Court directed all states and union territories to conclude second round of counselling for admissions in postgraduate medical courses by the 16th of November. The Directorate of Revenue Intelligence has seized gold worth over 4 crore rupees from a group of 20 passengers who arrived from Singapore at the International Airport in Coimbatore. Allahabad High Court adjourned the hearing in the Kashi Vishwanath Temple Gyan Vapi Mosque case till the 28th of November on an appeal from the mosque management. Moody's slashed India's GDP growth projection to 7% for 2022, saying that global slowdown and high domestic interest rates would dampen economic momentum. A study has found that infection by the COVID virus changes the functioning of host cell RNA, providing clues as to how different variants can escape the immune system. And China has reduced quarantine time for international passengers on arrival from 7 days to 5, followed by 3 days home isolation. More international flights will also start soon. Our top story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that his government considers speed as aspiration and scale as its strength, unlike previous regimes who believed speed is a luxury and scale a risk. He stressed that along with physical infrastructure, social infrastructure of the country needs to be strengthened. Addressing a mega public event in Bengaluru, Prime Minister Modi said that India is known for startups in the world and Bengaluru has a huge role in strengthening this identity of the country. He also said that things like Make in India and 5G technology were beyond imagination before 2014. Let's listen in.
भारत की पहचान स्टार्टअप के लिए है और भारत की इस पहचान को सशक्त करने में बहुत बड़ी भूमिका हमारे बेंगलुरु की है। स्टार्टअप एक जज्बा होता है, कुछ नया करने का जज्बा, कुछ हटकर के सोचने का जज्बा।
Now, Prime Minister Modi said that the ideas of Mahatma Gandhi have answers for modern day challenges. He asserted that his government was inspired by Bapu to work towards its goal of Atmanirbhar Bharat. He said this in his address at the 36th convocation of the Gandhi Gram Rural Institute in Dindigul. Prime Minister said that Gandhian values are becoming very relevant, whether it is about ending conflicts or the climate crisis. He said that Mahatma Gandhi wanted villages to progress while conserving the values of rural life. He said the government is working towards the vision of Atma Gaon Ki, Suvidha Shahar Ki. Prime Minister Modi conferred the honorary doctorate to music maestro Ilya Raja and instrumentalist Umayalpuram Sivan during the event.
You are all graduating at a very important time. Gandhian values are becoming very relevant. Whether it is about ending conflicts or the climate crisis, Mahatma Gandhi's ideas have the answers to many of today's challenges.
Earlier, Prime Minister Modi held a roadshow in Gandhigram in Tamil Nadu, where he was greeted by a large number of people. Prime Minister Modi also inaugurated the Terminal 2 of Kempegowda International Airport in Bengaluru today. The new eco-friendly terminal, in which bamboo has been extensively used, has been built at a cost of 5,000 crore rupees. Nicknamed as Terminal in a Garden, the Terminal 2 has been designed to portray Bengaluru's older title of Garden City. Passengers will travel through over 10,000 square meters of green walls, hanging gardens and outdoor gardens. Prime Minister Modi flagged off the Chennai-Mysuru Vande Bharat Express from the KSR station in the city. This is the 5th Vande Bharat Express train in the country and the first such train in South India. Prime Minister Modi also flagged off the Bharat Gaurav Kashi Darshan train. Karnataka is the first state to take up this train under the Bharat Gaurav scheme, under which pilgrims will be provided with an 8-day tour program covering holy cities like Varanasi, Ayodhya and Prayagraj.
अयोध्या, प्रयागराज और काशी के दर्शन कराने वाली भारत गौरव काशी दर्शन ट्रेन, इसकी भी आज शुरुआत हुई है। मैंने सोशल मीडिया पर एयरपोर्ट के नए टर्मिनल की कुछ तस्वीरें पोस्ट की थी। तस्वीरों में जितना सुंदर दिख रहा है, उससे भी ज्यादा भव्य है, आधुनिक है।
Now, during his visit to the state, Prime Minister Modi unveiled the Statue of Prosperity, the 108 feet tall bronze statue of Nada Prabhu Kempegowda in Bengaluru. The statue, weighing 220 tons, has been installed at the Kempegowda International Airport. It has a sword weighing 4 tons. Moving on now, US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has pitched a new version of global trade, calling for like-minded countries to work together to reduce the world's dependency on risky countries like China. She was addressing a joint news conference with Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in New Delhi. Let's find out more.
India's membership in the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework will make supply chains resilient between the Asian country and the US and help the entire region, says US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Yellen said strong trade, investment and people-to-people ties make the bilateral economic and financial relationship a critical element to the India-US partnership. India is part of the Biden administration's signature Asian Engagement Project, IPEF, but has opted against joining its trade pillar negotiations.
Our strong trade, investment, and people-to-people ties make the bilateral economic and financial relationship a critical element of that partnership. And India's membership in the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework and efforts to make our supply chains more resilient through what I call friendshoring are tightening those ties.
Earlier in the day, Yellen visited Microsoft research facility near New Delhi before addressing a joint news conference with Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Sitharaman said the meeting between the two will facilitate a coordinated policy stance on global economic challenges.
Our meeting today will lend greater vigor to our economic relationship, strengthen businesses to business links, and facilitate coordinated policy stance to address the pressing global economic challenges.
Sitharaman and Yellen will participate in a US-India economic and financial partnership dialogue in New Delhi and will discuss India's leadership agenda for the G20 group of major economies next year. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
And moving on to Cambodia now, where the Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar arrived in Phnom Penh, the capital city of Cambodia, on a 3-day visit on Friday. He attended the reception organized by the Indian community living in Cambodia. He said that both countries share rich traditions and culture and are linked by centuries-old civilization connect. The Vice President termed it a special occasion as India and Cambodia are commemorating 70 years of diplomatic relations. He said that the year also marks 30 years of India-ASEAN friendship. He also said that development partnership and capacity building have been key components of India's relations with its friends. He expressed happiness that India has a strong association with restoration and preservation works of monuments in Cambodia. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar was also present at the event.
Dear friends, India is extremely proud of the contribution that has been made globally by its people all over. We are happy that this is being done significantly in this part also. Let me share with you, India is on the rise as never before. Our rise is unstoppable. India, in the difficult times the world is facing, has turned out to be an island of opportunity and a favorite destination of investment.
Earlier, the Vice President received a grand welcome at the Phnom Penh airport. He will participate in the ASEAN-India Summit tomorrow. And for more on this story, let us go across to my colleague Tina Jha, who is right now in Phnom Penh. Good evening, Tina. Good evening.
Let me tell you about the ASEAN-India Summit this year. It's significant and special in more ways than one. Firstly, as you rightly mentioned, because ASEAN and India commemorate 30 years of their dialogue relationship. So this year is significant firstly because we are celebrating, both ASEAN and India are celebrating it as the year of friendship. A whole lot of events have been lined up through the year in all the member countries of ASEAN as well as in India. And as part of this commemorative program, there is a media exchange program happening between ASEAN and India as well. So as part of that media exchange program, I happen to be here in Cambodia. Incidentally, I will also be covering the ASEAN Summit tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Vice President of India is leading the Indian delegation this time. It's also special because this happens to be his first foreign visit since assuming office in August this year. So two aspects relating to that. Coming to the important issues which will be discussed during the ASEAN-India Commemorative Summit this year. Three areas will take center stage: trade, investment, connectivity. So as far as India-ASEAN mutual issues are concerned, these are aspects that will be discussed. Trade happens to be on an upswing. According to experts, it could touch a $200 billion mark by the end of this year. Back in 2021, this number stood at somewhere around $125 billion. So trade is on an upswing. Connectivity efforts are being carried out. But of course, there is scope for improvement further in these areas as well. ASEAN members also are looking towards India for more investment, particularly in areas of digital economy, digital inclusion, these two areas wherein India has made rapid strides in recent years. And apart from the mutual issues, there will also be some global issues which will be discussed, the geopolitical crisis, the economic growth slowdown, firstly because of the COVID pandemic, and then as a result of the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. And as we speak, as the ASEAN-India summit will take place, let's also remember that there is this UN climate change conference happening in Egypt, wherein the world leaders are facing a very difficult situation. They have to find solutions to accelerate the progress which the world together is making to reach the Paris Climate Agreement goals. So largely, these are issues on the global front which will dominate the scene. Alongside, the Vice President has a busy schedule tomorrow, a series of bilateral meetings with the Cambodian leadership.
Right. So thanks a lot, Tina, for putting all of those issues in perspective for us. And now let's move on to the assembly elections taking place in Himachal Pradesh and Gujarat. Now, Himachal Pradesh will vote tomorrow to elect 68 members to the State Assembly. The results will be declared on the 8th of December. The BJP and the Congress are locked in a fierce contest in the state. Both parties have fielded candidates on all seats. The Aam Aadmi Party has its candidates on 67 seats, BSP on 53, CPM on 11 and CPI on 1 seat. 97 independent candidates are also in the fray. Totally, 412 candidates are contesting, including 24 women. Now, BJP Chief Minister Jairam Thakur is contesting from the crucial Siraj seat, where he will face Congress's Chaitram Thakur. Congress veteran Veerbhadra Singh's son, Vikramaditya Singh, is once again contesting from Shimla rural seat. He will be facing BJP's Ravi Mehta. Chamba, Kangra, Kullu, Mandi, Hamirpur, Solan, Shimla, Una, Bilaspur and Sirmaur are the other constituencies with maximum number of candidates. The constituencies with the least number of candidates include Lahaul Spiti and Kinnaur. The state has more than 55 lakh voters. Among them, more than 27 lakh voters are women. The polls will also see nearly 1 lakh new voters this time. More than 7,000 polling booths have been set up to ensure smooth voting. Kangra has the highest number of booths at 1625, while Lahaul Spiti has the lowest at 92 polling booths. And moving on to Jharkhand now, where the State Assembly passed a bill to use 1932 land records to determine people's domicile status. In a special session of the Assembly, the Jharkhand definition of local persons and for extending the consequential social, cultural and other benefits to such local persons Bill 2022 was passed by voice vote. The State Assembly also passed a bill to raise the total reservation offered to different categories to 77%. After the bills were passed, the House was adjourned sine die. Chief Minister Hemant Soren called it a historic day for Jharkhand. Heavy rain slashed parts of Tamil Nadu today, causing waterlogging in many places and throwing normal life out of gear. The Indian Met Department said that a well-marked low-pressure area over the Bay of Bengal, due to which the rainfall is expected till 13th of November in select regions of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. Almost all parts of Chennai and the neighbouring districts of Kanchipuram, Tiruvallur and Chengalpet received heavy rainfall. The state government declared a holiday for all schools and colleges. And a quick look now at some more news from across the nation. The Supreme Court on Friday ordered the immediate release of 6 convicts who are serving the life sentence for more than 3 decades in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case. The 6 convicts include Nalini, Ravichandran, Jaikumar, Sutentira Raja, Murugan and Robert Pius. The Congress protested against the decision and said that it disagreed with Sonia Gandhi, who had pleaded for their release from prison. The Congress said it would seek legal remedy. The Supreme Court has sought a report from the Satara District Collector and the Deputy Conservator of Forests on the drive to remove alleged unauthorized structures on government land around the tomb of Afzal Khan in Bijapur in Maharashtra. A Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist was killed in an encounter between security forces and terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir's Shopian district. The terrorist was identified as Kamran Bhai alias Hanis. Delhi's air quality was again recorded in the very poor category. There was a slight improvement in the past few days with haze in some parts of the city. For the first time, the ISRO has supplied a rocket system to support a private launch vehicle built in the country. Agnilet is a 1.4 kN semi-cryogenic engine that uses liquid oxygen and aviation turbine fuel as propellant. Moody's has lowered India's economic growth forecast for 2022 to 7%. According to Moody's, rising domestic interest rates and slow global growth will affect India's economic momentum. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, several union ministers and MPs paid tribute to former fighter Maulana Abul Kalam Azad on his birth anniversary in a program organized in the Central Hall of Parliament. And time now for a short break in the bulletin. Lots more coming up on the other side. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. Let's take a look now at all the latest from the Russia-Ukraine crisis. Six people have been killed by a Russian rocket attack on an apartment building in the southern Ukrainian city of Mykolaiv. Rescuers dug through the debris for survivors after the attack. Posting the video of destruction, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said, "Russia does not give up its despicable tactics and Ukraine will not give up its struggle." He vowed that the occupiers will be held to account for every crime. The Kremlin said that the withdrawal of Russian forces from Kherson will not change the status of the region, which Moscow has proclaimed as part of Russia after annexing it. Kremlin spokesperson said that the region is legally a subject of the Russian Federation. Russia claimed Kherson and 3 other Ukrainian regions after holding widely criticized referendums in September. The United States is set to buy 1 lakh rounds of howitzer artillery from South Korean manufacturers to provide to Ukraine, a US official said on Thursday. The agreement comes as Ukrainian leaders press for more weapons and aid to strengthen the counteroffensive. US defense officials said the move will help with stockpile pressures, specifically involving the howitzer ammunition, which Ukrainian forces have been using at a high rate. Ukrainian officials have claimed the country's troops have taken back dozens of landmine-littered settlements abandoned by Russian forces in southern Ukraine. This came just a day after Moscow announced its withdrawal from the strategic capital city of Kherson province. In his nightly video address, President Zelensky on Thursday said that Ukrainian forces had liberated 41 settlements as they advanced through the south. And now, news from some other parts of the globe. US President Joe Biden is joining global leaders in Egypt at the ongoing UN climate conference, also known as COP27. His attendance at COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt is the first stop in a trip that will also take him to a meeting of Southeast Asian leaders in Cambodia and a G20 summit in Bali, Indonesia. Let's take a look at this report.
At the climate conference, the US president will spotlight one of his key domestic successes, the Democrats' massive healthcare and climate change bill known as the Inflation Reduction Act. It's a commitment of $375 billion over a decade to fight climate change. But it remains to be seen if Biden will address the issue of whether rich countries like America, the top historic polluting nation, will pay reparations for damages caused to poorer, vulnerable nations that don't emit much heat-trapping carbon dioxide. In the past, the United States has been against even talking about the issue, but it has now softened its stance. Global eagerness for shifting away from fossil fuels has been tempered by the roiling of world energy markets after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. At home and abroad, Biden is pressing oil and gas producers to boost production to meet demand and bring down prices that have funded the Kremlin's war effort. While in Egypt, Biden will hold a bilateral meeting with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, where they are to discuss the two nations' strategic partnership. After his brief stop in Egypt, Biden will continue on to Cambodia for the ASEAN summit to reinforce the US commitment to the rein in the face of China's increasing assertiveness. And then in Indonesia, Biden will meet the newly empowered Chinese President Xi Jinping. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
And time now for all the latest from the world of sports. In a win-all situation at the 15th Asian Airgun Championship, Indian shooters Divyansh Singh Pawar won gold and Karthik S. Raj Ravishankar bagged bronze in the men's 10-meter air rifle junior event, while Kiran Ankush Jadhav won silver in the senior event. VVS Lakshman will be the head coach of Team India on the New Zealand tour as Rahul Dravid has been given a break after the T20 World Cup. Team India will square off against New Zealand from the 18th of November for 3 T20 internationals and 3 ODIs. Manchester United beat Aston Villa 4-2 in the Carabao Cup's third round. The final 16 will compete in the fourth round beginning on the 19th of December. Real Madrid halted its two-match winless streak in La Liga by defeating Cadiz 2-1 on Thursday night to go into the World Cup break closer to leader Barcelona. And singles and doubles stars came together on Thursday night for the Nitto ATP Finals Gala Dinner. The 53rd edition of the men's singles ATP Finals will take place from the 13th to 20th of November in Turin in Italy. And with that, it's a wrap of the news today. Do stay tuned for Sansad TV for more news and updates round the clock. Thank you for being here. Good night.